Welcome to Dr. Katina Talks, the podcast where we explore the journey to a more fulfilling, balanced, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Dr. Katina, and I'm here to share stories, insights, and strategies that inspire you to live life more authentically. Last week, I invited you into what I'm calling the closet. I told you about the spare bedroom in my home that had become a beautiful place for company. The bed was made. The room was decorated. Everything looked just right. The problem was, we really did not have that much company. So, with the help of my husband and a good friend, we transformed that room into what I now call my closet room. I told you how I had clothes scattered throughout about 4 different small closets. I could not see all of my clothes. I could not appreciate what I had. And when I purchased a pair of pants that I already had, with tags still on them, I realized I really needed to do something. So, with a lot of disagreements and a little arguing about how we would go about assembling the racks in my new closet room, my husband, dear friend, and I started the process of clearing the guest room of its furniture, building clothes racks, organizing all of my clothes, then bringing them into their new home, my new closet room. As I started bringing everything into one place, I realized I wasn't simply organizing clothes. I was unpacking chapters of my life. I still had my wedding dress, my military uniform, professional clothes from different stages of my career, my chill and comfort clothes, clothes that were no longer my style, the clothes that fit, the clothes that no longer fit. And yes, a few things that still had tags on them because I bought them on sale knowing they were not my size today, but hoping they might be one day. As I worked my way through that room, I came across a stack of clothes from my 20s, and right on top was a pair of wide-leg jeans. Immediately, I was transported back to a night over 30 years ago as I was preparing to go out to the club with my girlfriend. I can still see it. I had on those jeans, a fitted top, a denim cap. I was not yet 21, but it didn't matter because I had one of those fake IDs that the bouncer knew was fake, but because I was a female, he was definitely going to let me into that club. It was the 90s, and at the time, I thought I looked terrible. I remember standing in front of the mirror thinking I was fat. I looked at my stomach, my hips, my thighs, and I convinced myself that somehow I wasn't good enough. Standing in my closet room all these years later, holding those same jeans in my hands, I had a completely different thought. I would love to have that 20-something-year-old body back. And I realized something that I think many of us discover as we get older. The younger version of me could not see herself clearly. She spent so much time focusing on what she wasn't that she completely missed what she was. Beautiful, healthy, capable, full of possibility. I think about that question people always ask. If you could go back, what would you tell your 20-year-old self? Most people talk about money. Invest earlier, buy the house, take the job, travel more. But standing there with those jeans in my hands, I realized none of those things would be the first words out of my mouth. I think I would simply tell her, "You are so much more beautiful than you think you are." I would tell her that one day she will look back at this very moment and wish she had spent less time criticizing herself and more time enjoying her life. I would tell her that the things she believes are so important right now will one day seem very small. The number on the scale, the size on the tag, whether everyone approves of her, whether she measures up to some impossible standard, because life has a way of teaching us what actually matters. And sometimes, unfortunately, we don't learn those lessons until the season has already passed. Fortunately, I made it to this age where I can say 30-something years ago. I am grateful. I am grateful for good health and all the things I have experienced in life, the good and the bad. Because if you were like me, you can sit in your thoughts for a few minutes and count on your fingers the people you knew who are no longer living and did not get to experience the life that you now have because they have passed on. Or they may still be around and did not have the life that you have because they might have suffered from addictions, trauma, or just difficult life experiences. And here you are. Here I am, with breath in our bodies and things around us to remind us of many of our life experiences, just like these clothes in this closet from every season of my life up to now. This week, I only have 4 life lessons for you. So here you go. 1. You are probably more beautiful than you think you are. Standing there holding those jeans, I realized something that made me a little sad. The young woman who wore them could not see herself clearly. She spent so much energy focusing on what she wasn't that she completely missed what she was. I think many of us do that. We criticize ourselves while we're living the very years we will one day look back on with longing. We think we're overweight. We think we're behind. We think we're not attractive enough, successful enough, accomplished enough. Then, 20 years pass, and we look at an old picture and think, I wish I had known. I wish I had known that I was enough. I wish I had enjoyed that season instead of judging it. Sometimes the tragedy is not that we change. It's that we never appreciate ourselves while we're actually living in the moment. 2. We often spend our youth chasing things that time eventually teaches us doesn't matter. When we're young, we believe life is about appearances, the right body, the right clothes, the right career, the right relationship, the approval of other people. And then life happens. You build a family. You lose people. You care for parents. You survive disappointments. You discover that peace matters more than perfection. You discover that authenticity matters more than approval. You discover that people who truly love you were never measuring your waistline in the first place. Age has a way of simplifying what really matters. And you know when I realized this? When I lost a bit of weight and sent a few loved ones some side-by-side pics of the chubby me and the me now. And you know what they said? I didn't realize you were that chubby. And in my mind, you know what I heard? I loved you despite your perceived imperfections. I loved you because of who you are and not what you look like. This was the moment that I realized I didn't need to hold on to that one dress that was 4 times bigger than my current size, and I kept it at the back of my closet. I did not need that dress to remind me of where I was, because it no longer mattered. I am who I am now, and the people who mattered loved me then, and they love me now. That is what truly matters. 3. Growing older is a privilege. The older I get, the more I realize that aging is a gift that is not promised to everyone. Some people never get the opportunity to look back 30 years. Some people never get to become grandparents. Some people never get to retire. Some people never get the chance to reinvent themselves. Life has a way of reminding us that tomorrow is not guaranteed. That is why it is important to try to hold gratitude alongside reflection. Because every wrinkle, every lesson, every scar, every season represents a life that has been lived. Growing older is not something to fear. It is something to appreciate. And 4, you do not have to wait until life is perfect to live it. How many pictures did we refuse to get in because we didn't like how we looked? How many vacations did we spend worrying about our bodies instead of making memories? How many outfits stayed in the closet because we were waiting for the right weight, the right season, or the right version of ourselves? The older I get, the more I realize that life was happening while I was waiting. So now, I give myself permission. Wear the outfit. Take the picture. Take that bucket list vacation. Dance. Laugh. Do not make the mistake of postponing joy until you feel worthy of it. You already are. This week, I want you to find an old picture of yourself. Not to criticize her. Not to compare yourself to her. Just look at her. Before you notice the hairstyle, the clothes, or the body you spent so much time worrying about, look into her eyes. She has no idea what she's about to survive. She has no idea what she's about to build. She has no idea about the family she'll create, the people she'll love, the disappointments she'll overcome, or the strength she'll discover. And maybe, just maybe, she deserves a little more grace than she gave herself. If you can, give her that grace now. I think you'll discover something. Old photographs don't just capture how we look. They capture who we are, our hopes, our insecurities, our dreams, the things we thought mattered, the things we had no idea would matter. As I stood there looking at the younger version of myself, I realized she had no way of knowing what life was about to ask of her. She didn't know who she would become. She didn't know what she would gain. She didn't know what she would lose. And maybe that's why I found it so difficult to leave that closet that day. I folded those jeans, placed them back on the shelf, and stood there for a few more minutes. I wasn't organizing anymore. I was remembering. It occurred to me that I had started this project thinking I needed a better place to store my clothes. Instead, I found myself sorting through a lifetime of memories. Every shelf held a different season. Every hanger held a different version of me. And every time I looked in another direction, another story was waiting. We'll open another one of those stories next week. Until then, wear the outfit, take the picture, live your life. And I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Dr. Katina Talks. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to follow the podcast, leave a review if you're listening on a platform that allows it, and share this episode with someone who may need to hear it. Bye for now.